Got home and I was reading some of my comments on my most recent video, my Japanese high school yearbook, Japanese junior high school yearbook. And some of them are interesting. I try, obviously, as you know, to leave comments all the time, but some of them maybe it would take me too much space to write a comment, so I figured I would just film a response real quick. So Grappler J Mo says a sumo club. You know, in past years, actually, there's only been like 1 or 2 boys in it. But this year, there were like 5 boys in it. And they don't actually like practice at school. It's an off-campus type of thing. But they still, a teacher is assigned to them to go with them to tournaments and stuff. And most of the boys are also in another club. It's like sumo is kind of an extra thing. But they get a picture in the yearbook. Let's see. AJ Sensei asked, did they take the video off? Why? I don't know what that means. So AJ, clarify your comment and I'll try to respond. So let's see. No football teams. That sucks. I'm assuming Bears 57, when you say no football, you mean American football? American football is really not known here. I brought some footballs with me from America, and most of the kids have never seen it. It's shown on TV a little bit, but when I show them the American football, most of them go, oh, it's a rugby ball? Because rugby is more known here than American football. But I do play actually like a football game with them in PE, and on sports day I do a catch the ball game, so I have introduced it a little bit at my school. There are soccer and volleyball. Volleyball is only girls at the junior high level, and soccer, actually, we do have one girl that plays soccer this year. She just graduated, so it can be both genders for soccer, but volleyball is girls only. A few schools have boys only volleyball, but only like 3 out of 15 junior highs in my area have boys only. When you get to high school, there are many more clubs. One of my girls became fairly famous. She graduated from my junior high, but this past year she competed in the All Japan Finals for archery, which the Japanese name of it escapes me at the moment. It starts with a K. Anyway, and she got very good at that. There are some other martial arts type clubs that you can be in high school, and the sports options are a little bit more numerous. And there's actually an official AGO, kind of an English ESS club at most high schools, etc. SRZY says, an Asian school without a badminton team. Badminton is very popular here. A lot of the kids play it at recess. Their kind of break after lunch. But yeah, neither of my schools have an official team. That doesn't mean that other junior high schools don't. I obviously can only really talk about the 2 schools that I go to. Kendo is cool, sheer blade, I will admit. It's really hard though. You know, I think some of the kids pick their clubs based on like how much previous experience they have. I think you can, you know, a lot of boys obviously play soccer or play baseball when they're elementary school students, and therefore pick that club when they're a junior high student. And even, you know, tennis or some of these ping pong, you can kind of pick that up. Kendo, it's very difficult. If you haven't played it before you're a 7th grader in some way, before you turn 12 years old, it's really hard to start in Kendo at 7th grade. One girl did try as an Ichinensei. She had never done Kendo before. But you got to remember, all the kids around her had. So everything that they're doing, and there's a lot of ritual in Kendo. The putting on of all the equipment, the ritualized practice routines, and then the actual matches themselves. She wasn't familiar with any of it, and she tried for about a week, and then she dropped out and joined a different club. What I found a lot too, talking about clubs for a moment, is, you know, like talking to the brass band girls today who are leaving. I'm like, oh, so next year you're going to be in high school. Are you going to do brass band again? And many of them, in fact, I would say most of them, more than 50% said no. That they're going to do either a different club, or in high school it's much more acceptable to have no club. In junior high, you kind of have to be in a club. or your social circle in junior high school is defined by the club you're in. You'd have to be a Japanese, teenager of fairly a lot of internal individual self-confidence to not be in a club, because that's your automatic group that you belong to, and the group dynamic is very important here in Japan. A lot of them, brass band is another club where they practice a lot. They go to school, on holidays, on weekends. They have a lot of concerts and competitions, and they have to learn different new music, etc. So it's a lot of work. And I think as you get up, in junior high, my 7th grade band, they don't always sound the greatest. Hey, let's admit it. And I think as you get up and you level up to high school, you kind of start to have to be good at your instrument, or else the other kids are going to be like, come on, dude, step up, and, play better. So I think, the kids that just joined as 7th graders because it was something to do or their friends were in it, and they kind of learned an instrument. When they get to the 9th grade, you're either, at that point, after doing it for 3 years, you either know if you're good or if you're just kind of coasting. And I think a lot of the kids that are coasting or found that it just is so such a big time consumer that they decide not to do it in high school. All right. So why the English at all? DJ921 asks. Because as Hardy Boy 0 responds, yeah, English in Japan is cool. You'll see English everywhere, and kids will write their name or certain things in English in their yearbook or their bunshu because it makes it stand out from the Japanese, and it's just considered kakkoi. It's just considered cool. That's why there's so many Japanese t-shirts with incredibly bad English on them. And I ask my kids all the time, do you know what your shirt says? Do you understand the meaning? Imi wa wakarimasu ka? Of their t-shirt. None of them do. And so just me going to elementary school and reading their t-shirts, the kids are like, sugoi. So, yeah, English is cool here. So they insert it in all kinds of things, and the yearbook is one of them. RTF McTech, I don't even, sorry. You ask, say that your students start asking you to sign their yearbooks when you see them signing other people's. Do they ask you in English? I guess the broader question is, do most of your students know enough English to ask you simple questions like that? No. Sure, some of them do. Some of my students are very bright and can ask me simple things in English, but most of them don't. Most of them don't want to speak English unless they have to, and once that they know that you, as the ALT, understand Japanese, they will speak less and less English to you. So I've had some ALT friends who've come and arrived speaking fairly good Japanese who hide that from their students because they want to encourage their students to speak to them in English. And I agree with that a little bit. In my case, when I came, there was no hiding. I was just bad at Japanese. I still am. But even worse, 4 years ago. And so the kids had to try and speak English to me to communicate at all. And obviously now that I've gotten better at Japanese, usually when I'm talking to them in a casual situation like that, especially where we're just hanging out in the classroom after school, most of what we're speaking is Japanese. I do sprinkle my conversations with English, but the fact is, in 9th grade, at that level, they would have to concentrate and think like, okay, how do I say this in English? How do I say this? And for them, it's like too much work. Most of them would just rather say it in Japanese. And then if I look at them like, huh, what did you say? Then sometimes I'll try to rephrase it in English. But everyday basis, especially when it's not classroom related, I usually am speaking Japanese with my students. Science club, only 3 or 4 people. Yeah, unfortunately, and I hate to say this in a way, but science club is really for the geeks. I think there was one boy in my science club at one of my schools, and the other, yeah, had like 3 or 4. So it's one of the least popular clubs. The other one really where the kids go that kind of don't have any other club to do is art. Because to do a sport, you kind of have to be good at a sport, and also sport is a lot of work. You know, being outside in Japan in the summer, playing soccer, playing tennis, playing even inside, playing ping pong or playing kendo, that's a lot of work. A lot of kids don't want to do that. To play an instrument or to sing in the chorus, I mean, these are things where you have to have skill. To do art, it's kind of like you just hang out and you draw a little. So art's kind of like the catch-all for the kids who aren't in other clubs. All right, proofreading jobs in Japan, 666-3000 asks, I don't know, probably so. Anyway, okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. I always appreciate all the comments, and I always read everything, and I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. I'm probably going to post about one every 2 days coming up, because I have a lot, but I don't want to post one every day. So probably every other day through spring break, I'll have a new video up. Okay? Cool. Peace.